The UK is buzzing with rumours about what Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis allegedly revealed about Queen Camilla at a recent royal event.
The UK was left buzzing after Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte dropped some jaw-dropping revelations about their step-grandmother, Queen Camilla. But what could have possibly pushed these young royals to break their silence? And what kind of secrets have they spilled for the world to hear? Let's dive into this unexpected moment when Charlotte and Louis shook things up with their surprising comments about Camilla. All eyes were suddenly on Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, the youngest stars of the royal family. Usually these two steal hearts with their charm, Charlotte with her graceful poise and Louis with his cheeky grin. But this time, it wasn't their usual cuteness that grabbed attention. It was something Louis blurted out that left everyone stunned and put the royal family's polished image in a bit of an awkward spot. It all went down in a heartwarming setting, Westminster Abbey, glowing with festive lights. Guests were invited to write thank you messages on a kindness tree, a sweet initiative led by Princess Kate to encourage gratitude and reflection. Little Louis, always full of energy, excitedly showed off his card, which was a lovely note thanking his grandparents for playing games with him. But then came the moment that changed everything. Someone casually asked why Queen Camilla wasn't included in his note, and without missing a beat, Louis gave a brutally honest answer. He said Camilla had once promised to play with him but ended up calling him annoying and told him to go away instead. And if that wasn't shocking enough, he went on to add that he later saw her just sitting there, not really doing anything at all. As you can imagine, his words sent a ripple of awkwardness through the room. Guests exchanged nervous glances, quiet whispers filled the air, and Kate, who always manages to keep her composure, looked slightly strained as she quickly walked over to speak to her son. Meanwhile, Prince William seemed concerned, and for a brief second, even Camilla, who's usually all about keeping her cool, showed a flicker of surprise. Louis's unexpected comment wasn't just an innocent slip of the tongue. It gave a rare peek behind the royal curtain, showing that not everything is as picture-perfect as it seems. Moments like this remind everyone that even the royals have their fair share of family challenges, especially when it comes to blending different generations and histories under one roof. While they always present a united front in public, it's clear that not all relationships within the family are warm and fuzzy. Take Princess Charlotte, for instance. She's been stepping up as a protective big sister more and more, and it really shows. Whether she's helping Louis get through royal events or guiding him through tricky social moments, her maturity is impressive. At a recent garden party, she noticed he was feeling a little overwhelmed by the crowd, so she gently took his hand and helped him greet everyone. Small moments like these highlight the close-knit bond between the Wales siblings, something that gives them a sense of stability in their fast-paced royal lives. When it comes to Camilla's relationship with the Wales children, history definitely plays a role. For Prince William, it's no secret that his mother, Princess Diana, had a troubled past with Camilla during her marriage to King Charles. And while William is always polite and respectful, insiders say their relationship is more cordial than warm. Kate, ever the peacemaker, makes sure the children show Camilla respect, but she doesn't push them to form a closer bond. It's a careful balancing act that speaks to the complicated dynamics within the family. Meanwhile, Camilla shares a very different relationship with her own grandchildren from her first marriage. At family events, she's often seen spending most of her time with them, which makes the contrast even more obvious. During last year's Trooping the Color, her grandkids added a bit of playful energy to the occasion, but there was a noticeable gap, both physically and emotionally, between them and the Wales children. Finding the right connection isn't always easy, and when the whole world is watching, even the smallest misstep can seem like a major blunder. For the young royals, dealing with these challenges is just part of growing up in a family that's always in the spotlight. As the monarchy continues to evolve, it's becoming clear that the younger generation isn't just quietly following tradition. They're making their mark in unexpected ways. Whether it's Louis's unfiltered honesty, Charlotte's natural kindness, or George's quiet confidence, these young royals are proving they're more than just picture-perfect figures in royal portraits. Speaking of relationships, one of the more awkward dynamics within the family is the one between Queen Camilla and the Wales children. Unlike the warmth and fun they share with their Middleton grandparents, time with Camilla seems more formal, almost scripted, While they laugh and play freely at their grandparents' home in Berkshire, their interactions with Camilla mostly happen at official royal events, where smiles often seem meant for the cameras rather than genuine moments of closeness. This contrast is especially clear during family gatherings. When George, Charlotte, and Louis visit their Middleton grandparents, the atmosphere is relaxed and lively. They run around the garden, bake cookies, and spend hours playing board games. Even King Charles joins in, happily kneeling in the garden at Highgrove House to teach them about plants. But when Camilla is around, things take on a different tone. At a recent Buckingham Palace garden party, while the rest of the royal family chatted and laughed, Camilla seemed somewhat detached from William and Kate's children, choosing instead to stay close to her own grandchildren from her first marriage. A particularly telling moment happened when little Louis, always full of energy, picked a flower and excitedly ran over to show it to Camilla. But instead of joining in his excitement, she looked slightly uncomfortable and not as engaged as one might expect. It was a small moment, but it spoke volumes about the emotional gap between them. This distance isn't just about personalities. It's rooted in the family's complicated history. Princess Diana once famously said that there were 3 people in her marriage, referring to Charles's long-standing relationship with Camilla. That history still casts a shadow over family dynamics today. At royal gatherings, William remains polite, but doesn't go out of his way to engage in deep conversations with Camilla. Kate, always thoughtful and diplomatic, ensures that the children show respect, but she doesn't push for them to form a closer bond. Last Easter at Windsor Castle, this unspoken divide was more noticeable than ever. While Charles spent time with William, Kate, and their children, Camilla stayed with her own family in another part of the castle. A similar pattern played out at Christmas in Sandringham, where Camilla's grandchildren stuck together, while George, Charlotte, and Louis mostly kept to themselves. Even in official group photos, a subtle separation is often visible, despite efforts to present a united front. William and Kate have made it a priority to give their children as normal a life as possible. Their home, Adelaide Cottage in Windsor, is a safe haven where George, Charlotte, and Louis can escape the pressures of royal life. Their days are filled with school runs, sports, and cozy family movie nights. But royal duties are never far away, and at public events they're expected to interact with everyone, including Camilla. During King Charles's coronation, an interesting moment was caught on camera. Louis, instead of standing next to his step-grandmother as planned, instinctively reached for his father's hand. It was a seemingly small gesture, but it hinted at the underlying complexities of their family relationships. Despite their best efforts to appear harmonious, old wounds still shape how the family interacts. Those closest to them say that everyone wants peace, but the past still lingers in quiet, unspoken ways. Camilla's place in the royal family remains one of the trickiest to navigate, largely because of her connection to the history between Charles and Diana. And while everyone may try to move forward, the unfiltered actions of the youngest royals continue to reveal the deeper, more complicated reality behind the palace walls. Louis, with his boundless energy and curious nature, sometimes unintentionally brings those unspoken family tensions to light. But at the heart of it all, the Wales children are just like any other siblings, navigating family dynamics, supporting each other, and occasionally stirring things up. Charlotte, in particular, has really come into her own. She's confident, charming, and isn't afraid to step up when needed. Her protective instincts, especially when it comes to her brothers, are hard to miss. Whether it's guiding Louis through public events or making sure George feels supported, she's got a natural ability to bring balance to any situation. She's not just the middle child, she's a standout in her own right, mixing fun with a surprising level of maturity. Then there's Louis, the youngest, who brings an undeniable spark to the royal family. His playful expressions, cheeky remarks, and lively personality have made him a fan favorite. He adds a refreshing sense of normality to the royal world, reminding everyone that behind the titles and traditions, he's just a kid having fun. Of course, being in the spotlight isn't always easy, but his genuine and carefree nature makes him all the more endearing. Together, the 3 siblings create an interesting dynamic. George naturally takes on a leadership role with his strong personality. Charlotte keeps things in check with her thoughtful nature. And Louis is the wild card, always keeping things exciting. Despite their royal status, their bond feels refreshingly real, a mix of tradition and individuality that makes them all the more fascinating. William and Kate have worked hard to shield their children from the overwhelming pressures of royal life. Their move to Adelaide Cottage wasn't just about being closer to the Queen, it was also about giving their kids a more grounded upbringing. At Lambrook School, George, Charlotte, and Louis get to enjoy a well-rounded education filled with sports, arts, and activities that allow them to grow beyond the royal spotlight. This effort to create a balanced life extends to their family traditions, which are just as heartwarming as they are important. The Wales household is known for its fun Saturday morning pancake breakfasts, cozy family movie nights, and exciting outdoor adventures. These aren't just moments of fun. They're opportunities to teach important values, strengthen family bonds, and provide a sense of security in a life that's anything but ordinary. While people often see the glamorous side of royal life, these private moments paint a more relatable picture. A family trying to find the right balance between duty and normalcy. It's not just about keeping royal traditions alive, it's about adapting them for a new generation. And like any family, they face their own set of challenges, from handling public expectations to navigating complex family relationships. One of the clearest examples of this is how the Wales children interact with their extended family. The warmth they share with their Middleton grandparents is completely different from their more formal relationship with Camilla, highlighting the difficulties of blending families, a situation many people can relate to, even if it's on a much smaller scale. Camilla's role within the family is a bit complicated. She's made efforts to connect with the Wales children, but their relationship remains uniquely distant. This isn't just about personalities. It's about history, background, and the lasting impact of the past. Princess Diana's legacy still looms large, shaping how they see and interact with each other in ways both subtle and significant. One offhand comment can stir up speculation, but the deeper family dynamics are impossible to ignore. The event at Westminster Abbey proved that change is happening, and in the midst of all the royal formality, real, unscripted moments still shine through. These moments, even when a little awkward, make the royals feel more human, reminding people that despite their titles and wealth, they experience the same ups and downs as everyone else. As the Wales children continue to grow, one thing is clear: their journey will be unlike any other. Louis brings the fun, George has a quiet but steady presence, and Charlotte is the glue that holds it all together. Their story is a fascinating blend of old traditions and modern life, and it's still unfolding in unexpected ways. The British royal family has never been short on drama, and this latest situation has everyone talking. While the monarchy is often presented as a shining example of tradition and unity, beneath the surface there's no shortage of tension and complicated relationships. Right now, all eyes are on Queen Camilla and her interactions with William and Kate's children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. The dynamics at play are as intriguing as they are complex. Camilla's path to becoming queen consort hasn't been smooth. She went from being labeled as the other woman in the tabloids to standing beside King Charles as his wife. Over the years, she has worked tirelessly to reshape her public image and prove her place within the royal family. However, despite all her efforts, Princess Diana's presence remains strong, especially in William's life. His mother's legacy is something he holds close, shaping not only who he is, but also how he raises his children. This makes Camilla's relationship with George, Charlotte, and Louis somewhat delicate, and at times, a little strained. William and Kate have been respectful of Camilla's position, maintaining a polite and cordial relationship, but they aren't particularly close. The children's interactions with her reflect this. There's a noticeable formality compared to the effortless warmth they share with their maternal grandparents, Carol and Michael Middleton. The nickname Gaga, which the Wales children use for Camilla, might sound endearing, but it also subtly underscores the distinction between her and a more traditional grandmotherly role. This difference becomes even more evident at public events. Take last year's Trooping the Color, for example. George, Charlotte, and Louis stole the show with their playful antics, laughing and interacting naturally with their parents and King Charles. Camilla, on the other hand, seemed more like an observer, standing apart from the close-knit energy of the Wales family. While Charles appeared at ease, engaging warmly with his grandchildren, Camilla's interactions felt more measured and distant. Observers couldn't help but notice the gap, both emotionally and physically, raising further questions about where she truly fits within the family. But this isn't just about personal feelings. It's deeply rooted in history. William's unwavering dedication to honoring Diana influences nearly every aspect of his family life. The values she instilled, the warmth she embodied, and the impact of her memory are ever present in the way he and Kate raise their children. Granny Diana is frequently spoken about at home, ensuring that George, Charlotte, and Louis grow up with a strong sense of who she was and what she stood for. This deep admiration for Diana makes it harder for some to fully embrace Camilla, especially given the history she shares with Charles. Camilla's own family situation further complicates matters. With children and grandchildren from her first marriage, her attention is naturally divided. At family events, she often prioritizes time with them, reinforcing the subtle divide within the blended royal household. A perfect example of this played out during Easter at Windsor Castle, where Camilla was spotted enjoying time with her biological family while the Wales children remained with Charles. These separate gatherings highlight just how challenging it is to merge families while still upholding royal customs. The difference in dynamics is even more apparent when looking at the Wales children themselves. Unlike the traditional stiff upper lip approach of past generations, George, Charlotte, and Louis have been raised in an environment that encourages openness and emotional expression. Their genuine, unscripted moments stand in stark contrast to the reserved and dignified expectations of royal life. Curious about what's really behind their actions? Stick around, because things are only getting more intriguing. William and Kate have made a point of modernizing royal parenting, focusing on relatability and emotional well-being. This means their kids are encouraged to express themselves, which sometimes makes for unexpectedly candid moments. Louis, in particular, has become known for his hilarious outbursts and playful gestures, reminding everyone that, at the end of the day, they're just kids. But these moments also reveal the complexities they navigate as a family. Behind the smiles and perfect royal appearances, there are layers of relationships that aren't always easy to define. For Camilla, finding her place in this family has been a long and challenging journey. She has worked hard to gain acceptance, both from the public and within the royal household. But when it comes to forming a deep emotional bond with the Wales children, it's been an uphill battle, one that continues to evolve as time goes on. Camilla's close bond with her own grandchildren makes the contrast between her family and William's even more obvious. It highlights just how challenging it can be to merge two completely different worlds, even for those who seem to have it all. The media's portrayal of these relationships only adds to the confusion. Public opinion on Camilla is still divided. Some admire her resilience after years of scrutiny, while others can't forget the pain she caused Diana and her sons. This lingering divide shapes how people interpret her relationship with George, Charlotte, and Louis, making it difficult to separate fact from speculation. Are the Wales children keeping their distance out of loyalty to Diana, or is it just the usual growing pains of a blended family? The truth probably lies somewhere in between. As George, Charlotte, and Louis continue to grow, their dynamic with Camilla may shift. Some wonder if they will eventually embrace her as a true grandmother, or if emotional barriers will remain in place. Regardless of how things unfold, their relationship with her will undoubtedly influence public perception of the monarchy's future. These three are the next generation of royals, and the way they navigate their complicated family ties will play a significant role in shaping the institution moving forward. The subtle tension between Camilla and the Wales children is just a small part of the broader challenges the monarchy faces today. Balancing tradition with modern values, managing personal relationships in the public eye, and blending families while adhering to royal protocols. It's a delicate dance that requires constant adjustment. Camilla's struggle to integrate seamlessly into William's family is a reflection of these larger struggles. The story of the royal family has always been one of love, duty, and resilience. Camilla's journey from being heavily criticized to becoming queen consort is a testament to her determination. But her dynamic with the Wales children is a reminder that emotional bonds don't develop overnight. Even in the most structured families, building genuine connections takes time, patience, and a willingness to confront the past. As the monarchy moves forward, the relationship between Camilla and the Wales children will continue to be a major point of public interest. Their evolving connection mirrors the monarchy's ongoing challenge, finding a way to preserve its deep-rooted traditions while adapting to the modern world. The royal family must not only maintain unity during difficult times, but also meet the expectations of a society that demands authenticity. Whether this story ends in reconciliation or continued distance, it serves as a reminder that, at the end of the day, even the most famous families are still just that, families, with all the complexities that come with it. While these personal relationships play out behind palace walls, the younger generation continues to capture public fascination. As the future king, George is always in the spotlight, with every decision made by William and Kate shaping his path. Charlotte has quickly become a beloved royal in her own right, known for her natural charm and ability to connect with the public during official events. Meanwhile, Louis, the youngest and most expressive of the three, injects a playful energy into royal gatherings, often stealing the show with his candid expressions and lively antics. The way these siblings interact with their family, including Camilla, offers a glimpse into how the monarchy is evolving. During public appearances, they manage to blend traditional royal etiquette with a fresh, modern approach. They remain respectful and poised, but aren't afraid to show glimpses of their true personalities. This marks a shift from previous generations where rigid formality often took precedence over authenticity. This transformation is largely credited to William and Kate, who have made it their mission to present the royal family in a more approachable and relatable light. Of course, public perception of the royals is heavily shaped by the media, and the British press plays a significant role in how they are viewed. Stories about the royal family are constantly in circulation, and while some are based on genuine insights, others are exaggerated or taken out of context. Small moments can be blown out of proportion, fueling speculation and shaping narratives that may not reflect reality. Camilla's relationship with the Wales children is no exception when it comes to public scrutiny. Every small interaction is analyzed, adding pressure and making it even more difficult to foster genuine bonds. Despite these challenges, the royal family's ability to evolve has always been one of its defining strengths. While Camilla's connection with George, Charlotte, and Louis is still developing, it presents an opportunity for growth and understanding. By acknowledging and embracing these family dynamics, the monarchy can show that it is possible to navigate modern family life while still upholding tradition. Looking ahead, Camilla's interactions with the Wales children will continue to attract public attention, offering insight into how the monarchy manages the delicate balance between personal relationships and royal duties. As these young royals gradually take on new responsibilities, the way they handle these challenges will shape the future of the institution. Their journeys give the royal family a chance to prove that even in times of difficulty, resilience and compassion can bridge divides and strengthen bonds. Sometimes, even the simplest remark can spark discussions about traditions once thought to be set in stone. A child's candid honesty has the power to shake up royal customs. Have you ever wondered how Prince Louis and Princess Charlotte became bold enough to challenge Camilla? A little context might explain their strong-willed nature. Prince Louis, the youngest of the Wales children, is a bundle of energy. On April 23, 2018, London was abuzz with excitement from the early hours, as crowds gathered outside St. Mary's Hospital, eagerly awaiting news of the newest royal arrival. At precisely 11:01 a.m., under the warmth of the spring sun, Prince Louis Arthur Charles made his grand entrance into the world. The Lindo Wing, where his older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, had also been born, had been a hive of activity in the days leading up to the birth. Nurses and hospital staff prepared for yet another historic moment. The scene outside was nothing short of a festival. Devoted royal watchers had set up chairs and blankets, sipping tea, sharing biscuits, and exchanging stories while they waited. When the announcement was finally made, celebrations erupted across the city. The bells of Westminster Abbey rang out for 3 hours, and Hyde Park echoed with a spectacular 62-gun salute, performed by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. His name, Prince Louis, carries deep significance. His first name pays tribute to Lord Louis Mountbatten, a beloved uncle of Prince Philip. His middle names, Arthur and Charles, honor both his grandfather, now King Charles III, and Britain's long-standing royal legacy. From the moment he arrived, Louis made it clear he wasn't like most newborns. While other babies tend to sleep through their first public appearance, Louis made his presence known by waving his tiny fists at the cameras, delighting the crowd. His mother, Kate, later joked that he was already greeting the world in his own unique way. His christening at the Chapel Royal in St. James's Palace was a moment steeped in history. Sunlight filtered through the intricate stained glass windows, illuminating the same chapel where Princess Charlotte had been baptized and where memories of Princess Diana lingered. Louis wore a delicate replica of the traditional christening gown first used in 1841, continuing a royal tradition that has spanned generations. As he grew, Louis's lively personality only became more apparent. Nicknamed the Little Whirlwind, he was always bursting with energy, bringing endless joy to his family and the palace staff. He stole the show at the 2019 Trooping the Color, enthusiastically waving at the crowd, and confidently strutted into nursery school with an oversized blue backpack that looked almost comically big on him. His teachers quickly noticed his love for painting and his impressive ability to collect the most fascinating treasures from the playground. Now living at Adelaide Cottage in Windsor, Louis enjoys a bit more freedom than some of his royal predecessors. Whether he's planting sunflowers in the garden with his mother or racing around on his bicycle, he approaches everything with boundless excitement. With his mischievous grins and playful antics, Prince Louis injects a refreshing energy into royal traditions, proving that even in a family bound by centuries-old customs, there's always room for a little fun. Princess Charlotte is proving to be a major influence among the younger royals. At just 9 years old, she's moved beyond being the charming little girl waving from the Buckingham Palace balcony. Now she's stepping into her own spotlight and capturing the world's attention. Growing up in the grandeur of royalty means her life is filled with privilege, but it also comes with towering expectations. Behind the picture-perfect moments, there's a young girl learning to navigate the challenges of royal traditions, constant public attention, and her own personal journey. Recent moments have made it clear that Charlotte is more than just another royal child. She is beginning to establish herself as someone with real influence. Whether it's quiet conversations in the palace or unexpected actions that leave even experienced royals like Princess Anne impressed, Charlotte is emerging as an important figure in the monarchy. This is especially notable given the difficulties facing the royal family right now. With her mother, Kate Middleton, dealing with health concerns, and her father, Prince William, balancing increasing public and family responsibilities, Charlotte has become a quiet pillar of strength. Her actions, whether carefully planned or completely spontaneous, reveal a growing sense of responsibility and maturity beyond her years. She has started to embrace her role in the family in a way that hasn't gone unnoticed. Princess Anne, one of the most dedicated members of the royal family, has taken note of Charlotte's transformation. If anyone understands the significance of the young princess's journey, it's Anne, who has spent her life balancing duty and personal identity. But what exactly has influenced Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis to be so bold? The UK has seen its fair share of royal drama, but nothing quite compares to the surprising remarks Charlotte and Louis have made about Queen Camilla. It was only a matter of time before someone voiced their feelings, and with William and Kate's more modern approach to parenting, it's no surprise these young royals feel comfortable speaking their minds. However, not everyone is thrilled about this shift. The royal family has spent centuries adhering to strict traditions where children were expected to be seen, not heard. But William and Kate have taken a different route, raising their children in a way that blends royal expectations with a more grounded everyday upbringing. Gone are the days of nannies handling every aspect of their children's lives. Instead, George, Charlotte, and Louis are encouraged to express their thoughts openly, rather than simply following royal customs without question. Charlotte and Louis seem to be taking full advantage of this newfound freedom, making their opinions known, especially when it comes to Camilla. Regardless of how their comments were delivered, they show just how much the royal family is evolving. Camilla has always been a polarizing figure. Some view her as a competent queen consort, while others still associate her with the controversy of the past. Charlotte and Louis are part of a new generation, one that isn't afraid to address emotions and family history, rather than brushing things under the rug. Growing up in an era where emotional openness is not only accepted but encouraged, the Wales children are learning to process and express their feelings in ways previous royal generations never could. However, this also presents a challenge for the royal PR team, as this level of honesty can sometimes clash with the monarchy's carefully crafted image. Unlike past royal children who were primarily raised by nannies and only spent structured moments with their parents, William and Kate have made a conscious effort to be hands-on in their kids' lives. They are determined to give George, Charlotte, and Louis a well-rounded childhood, which is why they chose Lambrook School. This institution offers a perfect balance: strong academics, engaging extracurriculars, and values that emphasize kindness and helping others. It's a stark contrast from the rigid, highly disciplined education that royal children traditionally received. William and Kate's parenting style, which blends royal customs with a more modern approach, gives their children a unique outlook on life. They are raised to be relatable and down-to-earth while also understanding their royal responsibilities. A big part of this dynamic comes from Kate's family, the Middletons, who have played a crucial role in shaping their upbringing. Carol and Michael Middleton are active grandparents, providing a warm, supportive presence in their grandchildren's lives. Unlike the formal and distant royal family traditions of the past, the Middletons bring a sense of normalcy, whether it's baking cookies, planting flowers, or organizing family games. Their involvement adds a layer of warmth that is clearly reflected in Charlotte and Louis's personalities. It's no wonder Charlotte and Louis have quickly become some of the most beloved figures in the public eye. Despite William and Kate's efforts to give their children a sense of normalcy, raising kids in the royal spotlight remains a daunting task. Every parenting decision they make is scrutinized by the media, and every move their children make is analyzed by the public. By allowing their kids to express themselves freely, William and Kate are walking a fine line. On one hand, they are raising confident, independent thinkers who will one day shape the future of the monarchy. On the other hand, this openness sometimes leads to moments that challenge royal traditions, like when Charlotte and Louis made their now famous remarks about Camilla.